It's Thursday, which means we're thinking like entrepreneurs, and today we're going to talk about the key to consistency. Hey, it's Erin Smith, owner and founder of the Starters Club and author of the best-selling book, Master the Start, and welcome to Think Like an Entrepreneur Thursday, where we discuss the mindset shift going from employee to an entrepreneur. Today, I want to talk about an extremely important key when it comes to entrepreneurship, and this is consistency. A lot of people launch, they get really excited, they build a business, and they do something, and then they do something else, and then they do something else, and then they do something else, and it's this horrible pattern of let me try this, let me try this, let me try this, let me try this. And there's nothing wrong with trying certain things. But the problem that comes into play is that most of the time people aren't giving something enough consistency to really make it work. And they expect results much faster than they're going to come. And it's a hard battle when it comes to your business because some of these things may cost money. A lot of times they're, if anything, it's time, which we're exhausted and, we're trying to do different things. But you have to be willing to be consistent and put out day in, day out, every week, every month, whatever it is you're setting that consistency to be, and stick to it. You have got to have a plan to stick to it because so many people they do it for a week, they do it for a month, and then they're like, oh, that didn't work. And they've not been consistent in it at all. I had the opportunity to see Jim Collins speak, and I refer to him all the time in my videos. He was amazing to see. He's the author from Good to Great and several other New York Times bestsellers. And he talked about what makes great companies great. And one of the things is that no matter, come hell or high water, there's no excuses allowed ever. Whatever it is they're committing to, there's going to be consistency behind it. You can apply this to anything. When you're going to release a new product, how you're going to advertise your product. He talked about Pixar movies, of how they launched 3 movies every 2 years, 2 new ones, 1 sequel. It is day in and day out, they release this. And a lot of people, they want to go away and come back and hope people remember them, but it's just, people forget. If you're not being consistent, they're not going to stick around and wait for you to come back. They're going to move on. And I recently did the Entrepreneur Summit. That was my first event. Now, I'll tell you, the first event was a success. I would have loved more people, absolutely. Would have done things differently, absolutely. But to not do another one and not, plan on it every year and do that, you need to build off that momentum in your business. And when you're going away, if I weren't to do another one for another few years and come back, it's just not going to have that same success factor behind it if I were to do it every year. So you have to be prepared. And before you put out your first whatever that is, or whatever that consistent thing is going to be, make sure you have the plan in place to be able to consistently do this. This is huge. This is a huge. I talked about in another video, working yourself out of a job as a very important concept for you as an entrepreneur. If there's one other concept that you've got to understand, it's consistency. And there's a quote Jim Collins gave, and I love this so much. I even have it here so I wouldn't forget it, but it's the signature of mediocrity is chronic inconsistency. Oh, God, I love that. It's just, you've got to be consistent with what you do. So if you're having trouble being consistent, if you have any questions, comments, would love to hear from you. I think this is such an important concept to understand and be willing to do. Don't give up. A lot of people give up on something and they say this didn't work. But the one question I would ask you is, have you done it as well as you can, and have you been consistent with it? And most people, the answer is going to be no on either of those. And those are the 2 important concepts for anything to work. So get out there, make a plan, be consistent, and watch your business change. So as always, thank you so much for watching. This is Erin Smith of the Starters Club, where I believe everyone has it in them to start a business. You just got to get started, and we'll see you next Thursday.